future. Can't under pressure, Dad. I have DD. Pleasure.
Spanish. Yes.
Dad, if you think everybody's here. No idea. Okay, so how about
Yes, please.
Do we have any other people that might be honor of being older?
Yeah.
That's why I have my You know what? Going up. Here we go. Do you think that's okay?
Yeah, probably on the side, so I can sit on the side.
Yeah, so you'll have that's how I so we're like, she didn't do it.
Okay, we're gonna walk on either side of this device.
Anochi b'tzidatech v'mesach Ibi chashak tafachehu v'afachehu Orech yamim maspiehu v'yarehu
Thank you so
v'shuach
much. Go ahead and share.
Orech yamim maspiehu v'yarehu v'shuach Stranger.
Okay, you want to move it?
Here you can, otherwise.
You can ask the guys to move it. Where do you want it?
Right here would be perfect.
Guys, can you
want it
move the
over here,
mic and
Jim?
stuff
This
over
would
here?
not be better. This is great. This is great.
Oh.
Okay, this is so great. Sorry.
Hydrated it. Yeah. Do you want to listen more? I'm Maggie. I'm with Feldman Mortuary.
Oh,
Yeah.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here. For those of us and all of us here who knew Rose so well over the many years, from her connection to the Hebrew Educational Alliance. It was her shul. It really was. And it was Maurice's as well when they were together. I remember her beautiful smile, her short hair. She loved to come to shul and to sing, and mostly to see her friends, some of who are here today. Of course, her beautiful family. She got to see her grandchildren, bar and bat mitzvah, grow up to adults. Having started in New York myself and come to Colorado. So beautiful here. I'm going to start with a little bit of what we sing on Friday nights to our mothers and to our wives. And to my wife likes when we sing Eshet Chayil to direct it to the feminine energy of the world and the universe. King Solomon wrote this last of the Proverbs. In Hebrew, it's called the book of Mishlei. And they're sayings that were collected 3,000 years ago from the Jewish history before. But still today, we sing them as if they were written today. And they use a very interesting word. It says, Eshet Chayil. In Hebrew today, Chayil means soldier, Chayal or Chayelet. And we know how emotional it was when 5 female soldiers came back recently from hostage. So why do we say to our mothers and to our wives, Eshet Chayil, a woman like a soldier, because they go to battle for us. And I remember how wonderful Rose took care of Maurice and loved him, and her family, how important they were to her. So it's beautiful that we start with that song of praise. And then Psalm 23, Mizmor LeDavid, speaks about finding rest in green pastures beside still waters. Eshet Chayil Milza Verachok Mipenim Mithra Batach Balebala B'Shalal Lo Echsar B'Smol David Adonai Roi Lo Echsar Binodeshe Yarbitzeni Almei Menuchot Yenaleni Nafshi Yeshover Yancheni V'magle Tzedek Leman Shemo Kama ki elech b'gates al mavet lo yirara ki ata imadi shivatecha umishanetecha hema yenachamuni Beshavati beveit Adonai leorech yamim. If you'd like to say the words with me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me to lie down in green pastures. Adonai leads me beside the still waters. God restores my soul. Adonai God guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you, Hashem, are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And yet, you have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely, Tov, Bachesed, goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall live in the house of Adonai forever. I think those two words very much sum up Rose Razel Stempnitzky. Kindness, goodness, chesed, tov. She was just a good person. Grew up in the Bronx in New York. First moved out here for her husband's job. And of course, they became Coloradans. They were skiers. She wasn't a skier. She tried once, I hear. But her boys were great skiers. And she really became a Colorado person, which is very cool. She made wonderful friends at the HEA. She had two beautiful grandchildren here, Bryce and Savannah. I know they spent some time in Baltimore, but moved out here. Dan talked to me about times where they would go up to the mountains and go fishing. And maybe she didn't love the camping aspect of it, but she did it. She was a trooper. I used to love hearing her accent because I'm a New Yorker, but I lived out of New York for a long time. But when she opened her mouth, I was like, I feel like I'm home. She always had a really beautiful words to say whenever she saw me, especially on Shabbat morning. And I will cherish those memories. A couple of her family members would like to speak. And I know it's hard, but I'm going to call her son, Dan, to come on up and say some words about her.
I thought I'd share with everyone some the memories I have of my mom growing up. My family included my brother Hal, my dad, my mom, and then we had a dog named Smoke. I guess some of the things that I remember is my mom always had dinner ready for our family. So around 6 p.m. Sort of a funny part. Her dinners, they were always an experience. She believed in cooking healthy, and a lot of times she would leave important ingredients out. Excuse me. She'd leave important ingredients out of the menu, and this sort of meant that the dish would sometimes it would fall apart. And then other times, you'd have to have a acquired taste of time for her food. But we all still enjoyed her home cooked meals. At the evening time before bed, we would always have ice cream or a coffee cake. And that was always a real treat. Bedtime was always after the Johnny Carson monologue. My mom enjoyed playing card games with the neighbors. My brother and I would have to go to bed while they played well into the night. In the summertime, my mom loved to swim every day. She could not swim very well, even with lessons, but that would not stop her from swimming at least a mile a day. Our family also enjoyed, as Cantor Goldstein has said, going up weekends, going fishing, camping. In the summertime, we had a camper and a boat, and we take advantage of any of the lakes in Colorado, such as Steamboat Lake, Lake John, Blue Mesa. We'd also go on trips with our camper all over the United States, Canada, and Mexico. When I was 12 years old, I learned how to ski. Excuse me. I was 12 years old, I learned how to ski. My dad and brother decided they would also take up skiing. And as like Albert said, she was afraid of the chairlift height. And so she didn't really want to ski. But all of us eventually talked her into it. We would take annual trips to Salt Lake City to ski there. And we ended up talking my mom into going with us. And she went up to the Brighton ski area, and they had a beginner's lift. And that lift, it was very low to the ground, so she did not mind it too much. She took lessons, and then she actually got pretty good. But she never really pursued skiing after that. What my mom really enjoyed was working out at the YMCA. She'd sometimes take three classes a day. She received a senior award recognition for all of the participation there. My mom also loved to walk, and she'd walk 7 miles a day. The other part of my life, my mom would ensure that I went to Hebrew school, always on Sundays and Wednesdays. And of course, she would go to service every Saturday. Sometimes I would go with my mom, and I had friends there that I would hang out with. Sitting by my mom, one thing I noticed, my mom, she always had trouble holding a tune for the prayers and the songs. But that never really stopped her from participating. My mom and my father would always donate to organizations. And throughout the years, they kept on doing that. And it got sort of crazy because later on years, a lot of the donation places would send mail, and I felt sorry for the mailman because we get so much mail from organizations asking for money. But my mom, she touched many lives with her kindness, and we will all miss her greatly.
This beautiful saying in the Talmud, that the crown of the elderly are their grandchildren. That is very true. I'd like to call Bryce to come on up. Did you want to say something? Hold on to that.
Yeah.
Get close, and then we'll pass that over.
My grandmother Rose played a major role in my childhood and young adult life. Growing up, my grandma was my best friend. She graciously watched over me while my father was at work. We would spend our days together playing Monopoly in the day and checkers at night. She was the only person who would play board games with me, and I still think she always let me win. She always kept her freezer stocked with pinwheels, which was my favorite frozen meal for lunch. Every night we ate together. My grandma would make a home-cooked meal every night for the family, and being a very picky eater as a child, she would always go out of her way to make me spaghetti with butter and Parmesan. The small TV in the kitchen would always be playing. My Uncle Hal, he wanted to watch the NASCAR race. My grandpa wanted to watch the Broncos game. But my grandma was the one to let me watch SpongeBob during dinner. It was my favorite show. When we weren't playing board games, I would spend my time in my grandma's backyard. Her backyard was magical to a young child. There were always plenty of roly-polies to catch and mushrooms to pick. As her name suggests, Grandma Rose loved her flowers, so it wasn't surprising that she had many pots outside to plant her multitude of flowers in. There are many things about my grandmother that I will miss, but most of all, her beautiful smile and her happy attitude, despite all that she's been through. I'm very thankful that I've had such a strong lady to look up to. I hope I'll be half the woman she was.
I'd like to call upon Cheryl. The next part of our ceremony today, of course, is giving Razel a proper burial. And if you're able, it's a wonderful tradition to put earth into the grave yourself. My father, blessed memory, taught me to put the first shovelful upside down because we'd rather not be doing this. And then we turn it back and put in whatever you feel. But it's a beautiful way to show her that we love her and that she can't say thank you. We're also going to do what's called Kriya, where we tear a little article of clothing. In the ancient world, when you heard that someone passed away, you literally tore your own clothing. And we keep that tradition alive even now. So as we lower the coffin, I'll ask you all to please rise. The sun Ezri Adonai Ose Shamayim Haaretz Al Yitain Lamod Raglecha Al Yanuf Neshomerecha. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where shall my help come? My help comes from Adonai, the creator of heaven and earth. The sun will not smite you by day, the moon by night. God is at our right hand to protect us. Hashem will guard our going out and our coming in unto life and peace. Shov ha'afar al ha'aretz keshahaya. And the dust returns to the earth as it was. Thanks for Shalom, Rose. Go in peace. Anyone who would like, after Dan is done, please come and help us. That's what I'm sure I'm going to tear a rip of it. Say bracha, which means that God is the righteous judge. So it's pretty. You just feel the tear. And we'll say the bracha together. Bless you. Say Adonai Natan. Take a minute. It is warmed up.
I know, I totally do.
Yeah, I'm like,
This-
yeah.
Closer we get to the.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I still remember doing some of it. I don't remember everything my dad because of COVID. A little different. He kind of stayed around. Oh,
There was
that's
a lot
true.
of.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
as they're finishing covering, we have two things left to do. The family's going to say the mourner's Kaddish, and then I'm going to sing the El Maleh, the memorial prayer. And then we're going to make a little tunnel called the Shura that will have the family come through. Now, Rose did us a favor. She put her Hebrew name already on the stone. And you see Rezel Bat Yechezkel, which is Ezekiel, the prophet. And that was her father. And Maurice was Michael ben Yosef. And it's beautiful to have that picture as well. So first we're going to do the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Be'alma, Tifra, Chirute, Be'amlich, Malchute, Bechayechon, Be'yomechon, Ubechaye, Dechol, Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Ubizman, Kariv, Vimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah, Levorach, Be'alam, Ulame, Almaya. Yitparach, V'yishtabach, Romam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudesha Berichu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechamata, Damiran Be'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba, Min Shemaya, L'chaim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Useh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. Over my years of being a chazan, a cantor, I've always included mom's name, our loved one's mother's name. Luckily, we knew her mom's name was Riva, so I will include it in the bracha. El Maleh Rachamim, Shochen Bameromi, Hametzei Menucha Nechona Tzachat Kanfei Ashechina Mahalot Kedoshim V'Diorim Kezar Arakia Mazehirim Et Nishmat Rezel Bat Yechezkel Veriva Shalcha Le'olama Began Eden Began Eden Tehei Menuchata Ana Ba'al Harachamim Hastireha V'seder Kenabecha Le'olamim Utzeror B'tzeror HaChaim Et Nishmata Adonai Hu Nachalata V'tanuach B'shalom Bishkava V'nomar together Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest under your sheltering wings among the holy and pure to the soul of Rezel Bat Yechezkel Veriva, who is gone to her eternal home. Merciful one, we ask that you remember the worthy and righteous deeds that she performed in the land of the living. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. Let us sit together. The family will be welcoming everyone for Mincha service and for some food in her honor over at the Alliance, over at the Hebrew Education Alliance, somewhere around 1 o'clock. I hope you all can come back and give love to the family. As I mentioned, you guys stay right here. We'll make 2 lines this way out to the cars, facing each other, and then we'll have the family. Maybe come down, everybody, a little bit further. We'll have the family turn around and walk through. We offer the formula for comfort, please. If you say after me, Hamakom, Yenachem, Etchem, B'toch, Sha'ar, Avelei Tzion, V'Yerushalayim. Thank you so much for coming. May you be comforted. Install the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We will see you all back at the Alliance. Thank you so much for coming.
I was watching you the whole time. Yeah, she's like,